Hope everybody is having a great day here. I'm going to be covering a market that I've been looking into, and I want to share with you guys some insights. I have a lot of insights to share with you guys. I mean, it's really getting amazing over here closer to the end of the year. Um, I have a spreadsheet with over 25,000 zip codes on it. I've been going market by market and analyzing which zip codes I think are the best ones to target as far as virtual wholesaling. I wish I had this direction when I first started in real estate. So I want to just share this with you guys. Before I get started, I have to go in my Facebook group and put this link in my Facebook group. For some reason, with my streaming software, it doesn't sync up. So let me put that in there. Give me just 1 to 2 minutes. I'm going to mute myself while I configure this. While you guys come in, just let me know where you guys are watching from, and happy early Thanksgiving as well. Okay, I have that posted in my Facebook group. Let me just go ahead and tag everybody. I know everybody loves that. They love it when you tag everyone. So let me make sure that's good. Let me make sure my audio is good as well, and then we'll jump into it. All right, great. So it looks like we're streaming in all of the areas. Welcome to people that are in my Facebook group, on my YouTube channel, as well as on my Facebook page. So, hey guys, I'm going to do these on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this is a series where I just feel like I'm never going to run out of content. I'm going to be honest, after 8 years, going on 9 years in January of being in real estate, uh, I'm just going to be honest, guys, like talking about the same things over and over again, as far as like, what's the purchase contract? What's the, how do you qualify buyers? I think most of the people that follow me and most of the people that actually find me, they know those things, but they're coming to me for specific information. Like you guys are here probably because of the marketing angle, right? So this is something I really want to be able to share with you guys about, because I've really have looked at these data sheets up and down. I'm going to go ahead and share my sheet with you here, my zip code analysis sheet. And I really do think your marketing can make or break your business, right? If you have your marketing off and it's not working properly, or you're in a poor market, guys, not a poor as far as price wise, but poor as far as a poor choice of market, guys, you can find yourself in a situation where you think you're trying to diagnose issues with your company when it really comes back to marketing. It's like you saying, "Oh, something's wrong with my neck," and clearly something's wrong with your neck, but you're looking at your hand for the issue. You're looking at your knee. You're looking at your face, when you really should probably first look at your neck. And that may or may not be obvious for some people, because you could have other issues, like you could say your hand is shaking, and my hand's shaking, and that's why it's causing issues with my neck. But if you just look at the root source, most likely that's the issue. And I'm here to tell you guys, and you'll hear me say this over and over again, not every market is good for wholesaling. It's not. It just isn't, guys. So as I do this series, and this is a second video I'm doing in this series, it's going to be a multi-part series. I'm going to be talking about this from now until I run out of counties to talk about. But I'm going to go state by state, and I'll mix them up a little bit. Like today, I'm doing Missouri. Next week, so on Tuesday, let's see where I'm going to go to. And if you guys want me to look into your state, I will. But I might go into PA, Pennsylvania next, and go county by county. So let me show you guys what I'm actually looking at here, what we're looking at rather. So this whole spreadsheet is my zip code analysis spreadsheet, and it has over 25,000 zip codes in it in the United States. The data sources where I collated this information from comes from 3 data sources. We have Redfin data right here. And let me just make sure the chat's good to go. Hey, good afternoon, my friend. Good afternoon. Hope all is well. Aref, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Aref, good afternoon. So what we're looking at here, guys, and I'll zoom in a little bit, are 3 data sets combined into one to give us some really good insight. So the first part here comes from Redfin, and I paid a guy from Fiverr to scrape this. So he scraped the city, zip code, and county, and also put the Redfin days on market, Redfin median sale price, and home sold on it. It's about time to get this spreadsheet updated again. I usually do it once a quarter, but the numbers may change based off of the month, but really, as long as it's within 3 to 4 months of being updated, it's just a matter of the order being the same. So the numbers may change, but the order most likely, in the zip codes that I choose, I may prioritize one zip code today over another zip code when I pulled this data in July. But all of this I would consider as updated information. And then I got the population from census.gov, the density level from census.gov, and the distress tier from a website called eig.org. I'll take you guys here so you guys can see what this website is and how powerful it is. And this website's a gold mine. Guys, do you know that they actually analyze every single zip code in the United States every 2 years to determine whether or not it's whether or not it's a poor zip code or an affluent zip code. That's basically it. They use different terminology. If you hear me saying prosperous, that's going to be affluent. Prosperous or comfortable is affluent. If you hear me say distress or at risk, that means at distress. So anything in the orange and brown, and you can see here in a lot of our wholesaling markets in the Southeast and Midwest, are orange and brown. These are distress areas. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys on this video is, just because it is orange or brown does not mean we target there. This is very important, because over half the zip codes that are distressed in the United States are rural. So you could be going somewhere where there's no cash buyer. So I'm going to show you guys on this Facebook Live how to, number one, pull a list in a desirable area for wholesaling. So I'm going to discuss what even makes up a desirable area for wholesaling first. And then I'm going to show you guys the list pulling criteria that I use, and also how to find buyers there and the buyer criteria I use. So if that sounds good, we'll go ahead and jump into it. So Donald Washington was asking, would this be the quick seller leads? So yes, that's my website where I have all my my data on. So the list that you can purchase, guys, you can get those from quicksellerleads.com. I also have another website, ccgarlandmarketing.com. That's mainly for my newsletter, but Quick Seller Leads, it just sounds way better than CC Garland Marketing. And honestly, the whole goal is to get you guys quick seller leads by going in distressed areas. So yes, Quick Seller Leads is the website, and I'll just throw that up here. So if you actually want that zip code analysis sheet, guys, you can go to not that you could copy that QR code and get that from quickstartleads.com. But so if you guys want that, quickstartleads.com. So let's go ahead and get into the meat of this program. All right, MSA statistics. So I was trying to find out how out of 25,000 zip codes in the United States, so 25,669, how in the world do I determine which zip codes are good to go into, which zip codes are not? And guys, this actually irks me. I'm going to show you something I saw on Bigger Pockets earlier, and it's just very ambiguous and, in my opinion, bad advice that people give. And I'll show you what I mean. There was a guy that I saw. He was asking in the wholesaling forums here. Let me find the wholesaling forums. Somebody was asking, how do you know if a market is good for wholesaling? Okay. Okay, so great. Let me show you guys this. Guys, it frustrates me. I don't even go on Bigger Pockets sometimes. It's like a drug for me. I'll go in here sometimes, but then I'll get frustrated because I'm like, not at the people asking questions, but it's mainly the people giving answers, because the answers are so one word and ambiguous. I'm like, this doesn't help anybody at all. And I'm not throwing my guy Jason underneath the bus. He's not a marketing specialist like myself. But a young lady was asking, selecting markets for virtual wholesaling. I love to hear from experienced folks here. How do you select markets for virtual wholesaling? So I might go and comment on this. And now that you guys know this information, you guys can help me out and spread the word here, because it's like I'm fighting an uphill battle. But Jason Small said, hi, Monica Caliber. Key points to keep in mind: market demand, factors such as population growth, job opportunities, and overall economic stability. Market stability. So choosing markets that have historically shown stability and consistent growth in property values. Look for areas with low foreclosure rate and a solid rental market. Use crime maps to avoid high crime areas. Accessibility. Since you will be working virtually, choose markets that offer ease of access, areas with good transportation and infrastructure. I do agree with this. Local laws and regulations. Familiarize yourself with the laws and regulations by understanding any licensing requirements, contract laws, zoning regulations, and any other legal considerations that may impact your wholesaling activities. Hey, I agree with that 100%. Like, guys, I don't really much care for rules in this world. I have my own code of conduct and rules I go by, but I follow laws to the T. I am like very much a stickler about following laws. Number one, because it's doing the right thing and I want to be able to sleep at night. But number two, guys, I really don't want to get my freedom taken away from me, or, you know, wake up one day and have a knock on the door from the IRS or something like that. So definitely follow your local laws and regulations. Now let's get to 1, 2, and 3. Guys, factors such as population growth, job opportunities, and overall economic stability, that doesn't really matter when wholesaling. So population, I would say population growth is important, but it's not premier. Job opportunities, what are you doing? Moving there? And overall economic stability. Guys, in most of the areas that we're targeting, there's going to be room for improvement. You're basically taking you're taking like a mold of clay in one of these markets, and the investors, the people that we're wholesaling houses to, and they're flipping the houses, they're going to be the ones that take this jar of clay and turn it, our jar of like clay, and actually turn it into a vase or a vase, depending on where you're from in the country or world. Okay. Just like niche and niche. But they're going to be the ones that take this from nothing to something. So we don't really need to go to areas where there's a lot of economic stability. Okay. We don't, because the economy isn't really established. We're going to places where there's opportunity growth. So, and an opportunity to grow and to add value. If it's already completely gentrified and if it's already completely stable, well, where do we add value to the homeowners? How do we get our properties under contract for 50 cents on the dollar if every single homeowner that we call is essentially somebody who either flipped their house or has a brand new build, or they take pride in their house, unlike in lower income areas, and the house is in a nice neighborhood and they've upkept it over the years. So I don't really agree with that. Market stability. Choose markets that have historically shown stability and consistent growth in property values. Look for areas with a low foreclosure rate and a solid rental market. Use crime maps to avoid high crime areas. I don't agree with that for wholesaling. That's good for rentals. That's good for flips maybe, but I don't agree with that either. And I'll tell you why. And a Good Samaritan asked, "Oh man, I just caught it. I will watch it from the beginning. Thanks in advance for the information that I'll watch out for." And yes, hey, my friend, I actually just started to stream about 15 minutes ago, so you didn't miss too much. And we go on for about 1 to 2 hours. As I start seeing people drop off, I'll probably wind it up. But if we get more people along the our journey here, or if we have about 9 viewers live or staying live, we'll go ahead and go on for as long as everybody's there and to get their questions answered. So it's Jason used ChatGPT to answer the question. That's funny. I love ChatGPT. Okay, so getting back to this over here, and I'm going to tell you guys how this ties into the data that I have. Okay, but we want to choose markets that have historically shown. No, I don't want to choose a market that has been stable and consistent growth in property values. I don't want that, because guess what? That's like a military town. And military towns, they basically stay very even. Fayetteville just now is at the point where the property values have increased, where it makes sense to buy a lot of the homes that were looked over when I first started, because I started my wholesaling journey in Fayetteville. That's where I learned wholesaling from, because I was working at Fort Bragg as a contractor at the time. Okay. So in those markets, you almost have to wait until the property values increase to a point where it makes sense for the seller to let go of houses for 50 cents on a dollar. In Fayetteville, for the longest time, the property values were staying, at least for any homes built before 1999, they were around 150K. Why do they stay constant? Because you have people with VA loans, like myself, veterans, and current servicemen and military contractors moving in these markets. If they are able to qualify for a house for $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, why are they going to move in a part of town where the homes are built in 1999 or 1980? It doesn't really make sense. And unless you're a grown person, I don't see why you would be a grown person living in a military community that's not affiliated with the community, affiliated with the military. So most likely 90% I wouldn't say 90%, a large majority of percentage of the people are going to have VA loans. So they're going to use them probably to get newer houses, okay, because it's 0% down. So that's why in the military towns, a lot of older homes just stay distressed. And you have a lot of new inventory that comes into the market. So I don't agree with that, with the market stability part. I like fluctuations in markets, but with it gradually increasing over time, okay? Accessibility. This one I really don't agree with, since you'll be working virtually. Choose markets that offer ease of access, areas with good transportation and infrastructure. That doesn't even, that's, I don't see why that's applicable, right? So I'm actually going to show you guys what actually does matter here when it comes to analyzing virtual markets. And just give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my coffee. 1 second. Okay, got my coffee back. Guys, we need the black nectar. We need it. I'm drinking on a dark roast today. So good. So good. My second cup. Okay. So I'm going to actually show you guys what statistics matter. And then I'll go ahead and go into the area that we're going to be analyzing today, Jacksonville County or Jackson County. So what really matters, I'm just going to keep it plain and simple here, are how many homes have sold in the last 30 days or over the last quarter on average in the whole MSA or whole county you're analyzing or zip code. How many days on market there are and the median sale price. Why does this matter for wholesalers? Okay. If we have an area we're targeting and there's only been, let's just say, one home sold in the last 30 days. Okay, if we target this area, even if the median sale price is underneath 250K, we're going to be in a situation where we are going to be able to target people, and we may get 5,000 or 10,000 homeowners, tired landlords. But how many cash buyers do you think we're going to have in this area if only one home has been sold? That's a question you need to ask yourself. So if you're going in an area where there's only been 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 homes sold in the last 30 days, how many cash buyers do you think are in that area? This is where we get in situations where you may get a property under contract and a seller's motivated to sell, but you put it out on Investor Lift, Zillow, on an MLS, and you can't move it. Even if you try to pay somebody to move that house, nobody's biting. So this goes along the lines of targeting rural areas. So I avoid low density zip codes. So if you see a lot of our low density zip codes, guys, will have a low amount of cash sales. Now, I don't put this low density filter. One second, guys. I gotta sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze up here, guys. But so what we have here, guys, is we don't want to be targeting a lot of rural homeowners and zip codes because we're going to be in a situation where all of the people that we're going after are going to be in low density areas, rural areas, and we're not going to be able to move the properties. That is so frustrating. Now, when I pull my list too, here's another thing I do. Even if I'm in an area that's highly dense, and highly dense, think of somewhere like a New York City where they're just houses on top of houses. I may risk the fact of actually getting property owners that are outside of the property owners that may live on the outskirts or affluent property owners where they have houses that are almost like McMansions. What I noticed over the years is that most of the zip codes that I targeted, hey, I had to step back. I had to sneeze and cough. I didn't want to cough on here. So getting over a little cold right now, Donald. So most of the zip codes that I target, guys, are going to be in areas where it's highly dense, but I don't want to target anything over 25, a fourth of an acre of square footage. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Once I go on Investor Title Toolbox, okay? And this is my primary list pulling tool. So when I target the homeowners that are in that have underneath 10,890 square footage of a lot, you're going to be able to get easy comparable sales. So if you guys have been doing this for a while, you probably have had situations where it's been very difficult to find comparable sales for some homes. The reason why is because you probably are not having a square footage filter on there as far as lot. Yeah, listen, I may eliminate some homes that I could target, but that are over a quarter of an acre, but I just found that most of the people that I want to target, I want them to be in neighborhoods. So I can easily go and click around on Zillow or on Redfin or the MLS and actually see, okay, this homeowner, there was a home that sold just like it 2 blocks down, and I don't have to go that far. So let me show you what this may look like if I'm targeting over a particular square footage. So let's see what 1 acre in square feet is. So if I'm only targeting people that have 43,560 square footage lots, let's see what types of homes we pull up here with the same criterion. And most likely I have 346. So let's download and view these records. And this one right here in Jackson, Missouri, 4991 Hunter. Okay. 4911 Hunter Street. Okay, so see. Look at this. So this is where 4911 East Hunter Road is located. And when I put the satellite view on, it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's out in the middle of nowhere. How hard do you think it's going to be for me to figure out a comparable sale here? It's going to be very difficult. And I found that a lot of these homes, they don't even show up on Zillow. They don't even show up on Zillow. Like, and if they do, it's very difficult actually getting an actual accurate offer for it. And this is that property right here, 4911 North Hunter Road in Sibley, Missouri. Let me see how many homes have been sold around it. There's one right there. Barely anything in the last 12 months. And I really don't like going far out to get comparable sales. So if you guys have ever had this issue happen before, let me know. This is how you can eliminate this, is by putting a square footage filter on your lots. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at another one. So 3810 Perrin Road or Avenue. Okay. So for one, the photo is from 2008. So Google Maps hasn't even been out to this area since 2008. Yeah, this is a place where you get out here and you get buried. Might have Hannibal Lecter following you out here. So when I put my layers on here, you can see it's very rural. So you could go to a very highly dense area and you could be in a very nice area to wholesale in. But guys, if you don't have a filter as far as your lots, your lot size rather, you can really risk going in an area where it's just not advantageous to pick up property owners. And you can have these people. What's worse is when you get people that call you in these areas and they're like, I've been trying to sell this house, I can't move it. And you reluctantly get it under contract, knowing good and well that you're going to be in a situation where you probably won't be able to move it. Then you ended up contracting the property. The seller is waiting on you to close on it. You're like their only hope, and you can't move it. You can't move it, guys. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. So back to the question, and feel free to drop questions, guys. So with the zip code analysis, is it best to go distressed with high density? Yes, I would say that is the best route to go. However, there's always exceptions to the rule here. And that's why I'm discussing this with you guys today. Is the density filters, guys, from census.gov get updated every 10 years. So keep in mind that this filter we're looking over here is from 2020. So to get a good gauge whether or not the market is currently becoming denser as far as population wise, we want to look at the spreadsheet I have here and go after how many homes have been sold. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to filter my list by low density, and you're going to see some areas that are actually, yeah. So I filter this by low density. Oh, I'll filter this by low density now. And we're probably going to see some areas in the hundreds as far as homes sold here. Blank data. Okay. So whenever you see blank data here, guys, just automatically assume that these zip codes right here are not even large enough for Redfin to gather statistics. So some people may say, well, I'm not seeing this zip code having anything there. It probably is a very rural area or a dying town. I found that Redfin is extremely accurate as far as updating its data and stats versus Zillow, Trulia, a lot of publicly available information, realtor.com too. They want you to use their data. And a lot of people use Redfin for data analysis. I know I do. So we can't just go off of, if we're going off of what Donald asked, as a rule of thumb, you could go with distressed high density areas. You can do that. However, you want to be mindful, my friends, of what the home sold is recently. Because if I just went off of low density, I can eliminate this zip code right here in Katy, Texas. And as a bonus, I've included on this sheet as well the April 2021 filters and data. So if you guys didn't catch on Tuesday, whenever I went over this, one thing I did mention is if you see data that's missing in the green column, so the April 2021 column, yet there's data here in the July 2023 column, that tells me that there's been a mass migration of people there. There wasn't enough data to justify filling this column in, right? Redfin didn't even get any market insights there. Just because it was so small, there was a dark spot in the data. And that makes sense because this is from 2020, this low density filter, and it makes sense. Now, what we see is that there's 410,000 as a median sale price, 41 days on market, and then 439 as far as homes sold. That is a lot. But that also tells me too, with this property filter right here, or with this median sale price filter, that there probably are a lot of new construction homes in this area. So if I were to see this at like 210,000 with 41 days on market and then 39 homes sold, that would probably tell me that I'm in an area where the median, where there's a lot of flips being done, right? You're not going to have a lot of flips being, or new construction homes underneath like the 350K mark. There's a lot of insights that you could get with this sheet, and I'm barely scratching the surface here. This really helps me do marketing campaigns and be successful with them, guys. And also too, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I was doing marketing campaigns for people this year, and I slowed down on that a little bit because I felt like I couldn't guarantee for me to be able to get them 2 contractable leads in every market that they would suggest. Recently, and with my build to scale clients, what I do is I tell them the market we're going to go to. Some people say, hey, I want to go to New Hampshire. And I would just say, oh, yep, pay me X, Y, and Z dollars and we'll go to New Hampshire. And then I end up having egg on my face because it's an affluent area. So just one thing to keep in mind, guys, you want to follow where the data is telling you to go. Super important to follow the data. Okay. Did I answer your question, Donald? And guys, keep the questions coming. As I see them, I'll interrupt I'll stop my monologue and I'll answer them. It's a lot better to do that as I'm going along teaching than to let them stack up. Okay, so just because it's low density does not mean we eliminate it. We're going after the home sold. So the first thing I do whenever I'm filtering my zip code analysis sheet, if this was brand new, I didn't have any filters on it, I'm going to sort this by home sold. I'm looking for areas with more than 50 homes sold. Why 50? Number one, 50 gives me a good idea as if these 2 fields the median sale price and the days on market are accurate. Okay, I'll say that again. If I have over 50 homes sold, the median sale price and the days on market is more accurate. So if I only had one home sold or maybe 10 homes sold, I could be in a situation where there might be one home that sold for $1 million. And then I'm saying, oh, that's $1 million zip code, but it's just one house that sold. If I have 10 homes sold, I can have 5 new construction homes that sold for 500,000. I could have 5 homes that sold for cash for 20,000. Okay. What I'm saying here is we need a large enough sample group in order to determine determine if these averages right here, if these medians right here make sense. And these are actually medians, not averages. I know it's a different metric, but I sort of use average and median interchangeably. I use median because that's what Redfin has. And what I do is I usually average out all the medians whenever I'm analyzing a complete market. But just think if I say average or median, pretty much the same thing, okay? Because you'll see this there's probably a 20% difference or less if I use median or average, plus or minus. So really, I'm not looking for the number per se. I'm looking for the order now. So if all these are over 50 homes sold, it doesn't matter if this is 750 or 710, right? Now it's just about the order of the zip codes to prioritize them, okay? So how do I prioritize my zip codes? The next thing I'm going to do is look at the median sale price. I may say, well, shoot, there are 50 homes sold on average, or I'm only seeing the zip codes that have 50 homes sold, and I may target an area. I may say, well, why don't I target 90210 like the show? And wow, that's actually pretty wild. The most affluent zip code as of July of 2023 in the United States, and it's probably like this too, is 90210, Beverly Hills, California. 90210. So that's one you would definitely stay away from. So if you're just going off of 50 homes sold and you don't have a ceiling as far as a median sale price, you could go on affluent zip codes. So we determine the home sold floor of 50 to make sure we have enough cash buyers there and we have enough retail buyers that are there. We don't want to be in war zones because you could have about 20 to 30 homes sold and all those could be cash sales. We don't go into war zones, guys. So what I like doing and what I found over the years is I like targeting zip codes that are underneath $250,000. Once you start getting to the $300,000, $350,000, $400,000 mark, the sellers start becoming uncooperative. Sellers started becoming uncooperative. Glad it helped, Donald. And guys, you'll hear me say this. I don't want motivated sellers. I want cooperative sellers. Motivated sellers can put a lot of stress and heartache and a lot of unnecessary effort on me to get their properties sold. And these types of individuals may have very complicated situations. If you guys have been following me for a while, and if you guys haven't, welcome here. If you're new here, one thing that I preach are processes. You could go ahead and interchange processes with employees. If I can't teach an employee how to do something in my absence and they have to lean on me for every single scenario, every single lead that comes through, I'm in a situation where I'm in a situation where I have to be stuck in working alongside the employee. A lot of investors that I talk to, they work alongside their employees. They may have employees, but they don't give their employees any responsibility. Guess what? Because they may have 3 probate leads that come through that they have to look at. They may have an inherited lead that they have to look at. They may have a lot deal that's 40 acres that they have to look at manually. So they have to sit there and underwrite 5 deals. If they just focus on targeting a entire landlord list like I target, and I'm going to show you guys a criteria for that too later in this call, then those are very turnkey, open and shut type situations. And this is what I do, guys. I do something called WRM. This is something I made up. I'm testing this to see if it'll stick, or else I'm just being a thing out here. But WRM, I call it wholesaling rotation markets. So it's wholesaling rotation markets. We are rotating markets. This is why you see on my zip code analysis sheet here all these markets down here, because I'm planning for the remainder of this year for my clients I have and myself, and for next year, which markets I want to go to. Right. And I just rotate. And I've noticed in about every zip code or every MSA, metropolitan statistical area, city or market, it's interchangeable. You're only going to have about 20% of the zip codes that are really primed for wholesaling. You really are. Okay. So if I'm going to go into, let's just say, Richmond, Virginia, and I want to be in this market so bad, I might say after the first month, okay, let's target these zip codes with the median sale price of, actually, let me do this, with a median sale price of 30,000, 26, 170, 180. Like, you may get through 1 month of marketing, and this may yield 20,000 or 10,000 rather absentee homeowners. And you may think, oh, well, that's such a good market. Let me go ahead and pull the next set of zips. And so you may say, let me pull these zip codes for month 2. And you're like, these sellers don't seem as motivated as the ones in month 1. And the reason why is because there's a direct correlation and inverse relationship with what the median sale price is in a market and the seller's motivation. Actually, yeah, the motivation. So if the median sale price goes up, actually the seller's motivation goes down. That's right. It's an inverse relationship. So if the price is over here and then motivation is right here, as the median sale price goes up, let's just say it's 250 right now, boom, and then it goes up to 300. Seller motivation will decrease based off your list now, the list you're targeting. It goes up to 400. Seller motivation decreases a lot. It goes to 500. It decreases even more. You start getting up in 700, 800, 900,000. You're going to be talking to people that are like, why in the world are you calling me? And I felt silly sometimes targeting people in Folly Beach in Charleston, Isle of Palms, Charleston, South Carolina, Sullivan's Island. These are a lot of places that are very affluent in my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina. That's not our target audience at all. And this is where wholesalers get a bad rap, because we just target any and everybody. And then on top of that, if you're newer and you're targeting any and everybody, guys, some of these people make you sound silly. Now, you may say, well, we're going after creative financing deals, this, that, and the third. Guys, I'll be hard pressed to see anybody that makes their whole company, their foundational part of their company is built on $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 creative financing deals. Those are leads that come through where you'll get a big grand slam. But most of the time, your wholesaling business is going to be built off of 10 to 20K base hits. Okay, singles, maybe even doubles. Maybe you'll get a 30, 40 pounder. But most of the time, guys, we are going after individuals that are underneath that $300,000 price range. They're easier to work with. They're not as savvy. We're not taking advantage of people, guys. But let's just be honest. If you're their only resource to contact, then they're not going to have any other option than to go with you or another investor, wholesaler. If they're in the $500,000 price range, they may say something like this. Well, let me see your contract and I'll talk to your attorney. Let me see your website. Let me see this, that, and the third. That's an unmotivated seller. You're targeting the wrong avatar if every single seller is like that. And I've noticed it comes down to the median sale price in most of these markets, okay? So Donald Washington, great question here. He says, so go for distressed zip codes with sales or at or under 250,000. That is correct. That is correct. And I'll show you here what that looks like actually on my zip code analysis sheet. Great feedback, Donald. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to ask, or else it's Donald Washington's day here. I'll answer any questions that you guys have in all seriousness. So this is what it looks like. I could do one more and just do distressed over here. So if you want absolutely lowest hanging fruit. If you want to just, guys, if you want to actually get to people that are not putting up a fight, not putting up an argument, and you're going to have cash buyers, do this. Filter this zip code analysis sheet that I have by 50 homes sold or more, and then target zip codes with 250K or less as far as the median sale price. Then filter the Redfin median sale price by ascending value. So you want to see the lowest zip code first up to the highest. So based off of this criterion that I'm sharing with you guys, the most distressed zip code in this area is with this criterion is 48601, Saginaw, Michigan. Okay. And notice it was low density, but I'd be hard pressed is low density now. This is how you find gems, guys. This is how you find areas that are turning around before you even know. This is how before others know, rather. And this is how you find out places are verified places. If somebody's telling you, guys, if somebody's telling you, well, don't go to that area, it was distressing, it's a war zone. What? Define a war zone for me. I've at least tried to define a war zone based off of what I'm seeing. And a war zone to me is anywhere where there's, I would say, 20 or fewer homes sold and the median sale price is under $100,000. Okay. And if the days on market is quite high. So I would say these are going to be war zones. So if there are less than or equal to 20 homes sold, 20 homes sold. So we already have low home sold volume. 1 second, guys. Okay. And let me, I'm going to freeze these top panes here so you can, so we all can follow along here without having to scroll up. So, no, make these a bit larger. Cool. All right. Okay. So if I have fewer than 20 homes sold in the last 30 days, and I have July 2023, and I have, let's see here, days on market is 30 days, July 2023. Okay. So Redfin days on market, boom, boom, boom. So if my days on market is also above, I would say 70, and my median sale price is below 250,000, let's just say 150,000. And I'm actually going to do something just for kicks and giggles here. I'm going to do greater than or equal to 50. I'm going to tell you why these are war zones too, okay? Well, let's do 20. Okay. All right. Okay. So I would consider these war zones right here. And so I have more data. I would do less than or equal to 250. Okay. I would say these are war zones because if you have more than 20 homes sold in an area and the median sale price is below 250K and the days on market is over 70. So like most of these houses, if they're picking up for cash, they're going to be picked up for half of whatever the median sale price is. So here for 154, things will probably be on sale for 75K, 60K. So most cash sales in this zip code right here and 78102 will sell for underneath 100,000. And this one, this is definitely underneath 100,000 and 62960. So you have to ask yourself, if the median sale price is $80,000, less than 100,000, why are homes sitting on the market for 72 days? And this was in July for these stats. So this was like at the height of the real estate market. It's like July and August are the hottest months out of the year. So why are things sitting on the market for that long? And I know I have over 20 homes sold. So that tells me that there are homeowners here, cash buyers, and maybe even some retail homeowners, but most of these will probably be cash buyers. This tells me that this is an area I don't want to be in. And some other things that you can tell by this area is that cash buyers are reluctant to go here. Why are they reluctant to go here? Because things are sitting on the market for a long time. It tells me that people don't want to move to this area. So always be skeptical if you see a low median sale price and a high days on market. And if it's over about 20 homes sold, because it's just not one or two homes skewing the records. That tells me that these are war zones, okay? It's like very important. Guys, this is how you determine whether or not you're in an area that is lucrative for wholesaling. And you're not asking people at RIAs or on Facebook groups, is this a good market to go to? Is this a good market to go to? Is this a good market to go to? I can't tell you how many times I've done that in my marketing campaigns that fail. Unless you're going after data like this and using data like this, it is the blind leading the blind, my friends. It is the blind leading the blind. I'll give you guys an example here. I was trying to figure out these answers back in 2018. There was a mastermind group I consulted. I'm not going to give away the name, not into throwing anybody underneath the bus, at least publicly. But there's a mastermind group I was thinking about joining. And by the end of the call, I should have sent him a bill for consultation because he was picking my brain the whole time. And I said, well, why am I going to join this mastermind group if you guys or none of your members know the answers to what I'm asking? Okay. And that's when I really set off and I tried to decide I needed to figure out how to analyze markets, how to figure out how many cold callers I needed to generate one contract. I didn't want to be overspending, nor did I want to underspend. Okay. So let me see the questions we have here. Aref asked, can you share this data sheet with us? Yeah, so you can get that on quicksellerleads.com. I'll show it here. It's a national distress zip code list. The same zip code list that I'm going off of, it's on here. Hey guys, the only thing that won't be on here are these areas down here. You'll get access to this the master sheet and you can follow along. But this is stuff I've added. None of this is additional information. It's literally just copied and pasted from this sheet to develop my own MSAs. Okay, so that's just something to keep in mind here. This sheet is golden. I use it for everything as far as when I'm analyzing my markets. Okay, so you can get that at quicksellerleads.com. So let's go ahead and get into the meat of why we're here. So this happened on Tuesday. I took about an hour preface here, but it always seems like when I'm doing this, there's something else that populates that comes to mind, and also the questions inspire me to clarify a little bit more. And notice, guys, I don't like single yes no answers. I want to make sure anybody that I teach has understanding, right? You understand what I'm teaching you. It's not just do this, do this, do this, do this. I want you to know why. I'm big on teaching men and women how to fish. Let me see if there was any other points I wanted to make. But yeah, with this, with war zones, if somebody asks you, well, this area is a war zone, they may say this part in Michigan that you're targeting, that's a war zone. And I can say, well, the data is not telling me it is. And people could be going off of things that they hear. A lot of people, when they get in these groups, guys, they're in echo chambers. And I pride myself, you call me a little bit of an isolationist, but I'm not part of any wholesaling communities other than mine. And I'm basically a YouTuber. I barely even meet people, even clients locally. I don't meet people. I meet people virtually, online, like this, because I want to stay in my own zone. Somebody has to be looking at this thing from 30,000 foot view. Guys, last year, there was a whole bunch of hysteria about, oh, is the market going to collapse? And it was just like everybody was just creating content centered around that. Everybody kept on asking, is the market going to collapse? Nothing happened. And I don't think we're going to see another 2008 happen either, because that was really people being bamboozled. That's not going to happen again, I don't think, ubiquitously. Now, markets do go up and down, but real estate is highly regional, guys. So somebody may say, well, Detroit, Michigan, that's a war zone. Why are you going to target there? And they're going after what they've been hearing for the last 5 or 6 years. Well, what I'm seeing now is, yeah, $60,000, that is low. This is primarily going to be a landlord territory area. Be mindful, guys, if you go in an area that's sub 100,000 as far as the median sale price, you're not going to probably get a $20,000 assignment fee. You're probably going to get closer to 5,000, maybe even 3,000. But this is a great place to test out to see if you like wholesaling and to get sellers that aren't resistant, because these sellers aren't expecting a ton of money for their houses. And you may say, well, how do I know if I have buyers there? Well, you'll have buyers there if there's more than 50 homes sold. So this isn't a good example right here because of the criteria I was just showing you guys. So let me adjust my criteria back to that. So clear filter, and I want to see greater than equal to 50 homes sold. Okay, great. So that leaves us with 415 zip codes. So 250, less than or equal to 250. Days on market, I don't have a filter. Home sold. Okay. Let me make sure. And distressed tier. So I'm going to remove that distressed tier. And then that should leave me with 1,100. Yeah, so 1,180 zip codes minus the header. Okay. So let's get into what we're going to do today. So during this series, I'm actually going to go state by state and actually pick up the best county per state. There's multiple counties that I think are considered great wholesaling counties in Missouri. I just started there because it was one of the first ones I saw on my spreadsheet, but I'll probably start skipping around to Michigan, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, just so I'm keeping it fresh. So if you guys are with me, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go back to my zip codes here. So 2 days ago, we went over Boone. Today, we are going to be going over Columbia. Let's see here. Not Columbia. It's, what's the area we're doing today? Jackson County. Okay, great. So what do I like about Jackson County and why did I choose this area? So for one, there are 16 zip codes that fit our criteria that we're looking for. So over 250,000, less than 250,000 as far as the median sale price, and then also more than 50 homes sold. And so one thing I like too is that you see a lot of a fewer low density zips that have had a boom in price. So if we look at 2021 here, and I'm going to highlight this, for 49201 in Jackson County, the median sale price was 205,000. There was 83 days on market, so things were sitting on the market for a while with 21 homes sold. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have said, no, don't target this zip code. Don't target this area. It doesn't look good. Fast forward to July, you see 230,000 with the median sale price. So it's good. It's underneath 250 with 41 days on market. So that decreased. So the fewer days on market, the better, the more hotter the area. And it's also better for your cash buyers. That's why I do that as well. Because cash buyers, my friends, they don't want to be in areas where it's going to take 60, 70, 80, 90 days to list their house and to renovate it and to sell it. They want to be able to list it and then immediately it gets an offer. So that's what I'm showing you guys here with the spreadsheet, how to determine if you have cash buyers in an area and you're going to be in an area where cash buyers are without you having to go to Facebook groups and say, I'm looking to go to 49201. Is this a good place to go to? And you're like screaming at the top of your lungs. A lot of people are misguided and they just want to be right. And they just say things without backing up with data. It's like the craziest thing. It's a wild time to be alive. I always want to cite my sources, guys. I always cite my sources. And if you see me not citing sources here and just saying something that's not data backed, check me on it, guys. Seriously. And so we went and we had a jump from 21 homes sold to 125. Excellent. Guys, now's the time to be in this area, because I'll tell you what, this 230 probably next year is going to go around to 270. And this 270 is probably going to go around to 350. By the time you hear about it, you're going to be in a situation where you already missed the boat. So I'm showing you guys how to get ahead of certain area of certain get ahead or ride the wave, not get ahead, ride the wave while the area is gentrifying. Because by the time you hear about it on Bigger Pockets podcast, on any of these podcasts, it's probably too late. People are not going to tell you about good or great markets after they've benefited from it. What do I have at stake here? I'm a data analyst and I sell data, right? Yeah, I wholesale and flip houses, but I have a different mentality than a lot of people because I'm looking at the whole United States. And I'm not stuck for in a particular market. I know if one zip code gets eaten up or even 10, I have 1,000 other ones that I could target. And then let's just say all these 1,000 fall off. Hey, guess what? In a year or two, there's going to be other zip codes that I'm not even looking at that are rural now that have fewer than 50 homes sold. And 2 years from now, those are going to be increasing. Guys, the United States is huge. It's a very big place to be in, to live in. And it's one of those types of things we have to keep in mind. We have to keep in mind that it's a large area, right? It's a large landmass. And unfortunately, the same areas keep on getting repeated on over. Wow, I can't talk. The same areas keep on getting repeated over and over and over again by different people as far as them being hot. So everybody is saying the same exact areas. This is how you go into a market and you have a very saturated market. You say, well, I'm going to Millington, Tennessee, but man, it seems like it's very competitive. Well, if everybody's using the same list pulling tool, everybody's going into the same 10 markets, and if everybody's using the same skip tracing company, guys, everybody's targeting the same data. When you have over 1,100 zip codes that fit a blue collar criteria, I call it, to go into. Okay, so I said, since I did Missouri already, I said, let me go ahead and see what other areas are available in Missouri. So one thing I like doing is chunking the counties, and I organize the counties to see how many counties I have, how many zip codes I have with my criteria in a particular county. And so with this one, the first chunk I saw was Jackson. All right. The second chunk I saw was St. Louis. So I might get to that later, but I want to go and do a different state. Clay Green. Oh, Jackson as well. So this goes up in that. I don't know why it didn't include that in the first one. So I'll highlight this. And St. Louis again. So you guys see what we have here, right? We have basically the hottest market in Missouri. I'm seeing off my data, it's going to be Jackson County, so the Kansas City market, and then St. Louis. That's how I determine that. Now, these we can target, but if I'm going to go in an area, I want to be able to pull like 3,000 to 5,000 absentee records. It's my tired landlord record list, and I'm going to show you guys what that looks like here shortly. You guys still with me? Let me know if you're still with me. And while we do that, I'm going to make sure I'm good to go on my Facebook group here. Okay. Yeah, Facebook looks good. YouTube looks good. Okay. All right, cool. All right, looks like we're good to go. Okay, so I'm looking at chunks here. So I see that there's two chunks, Jackson and then St. Louis. So I said, okay, let me go off with Jackson. Really, either one of these I can target. I just chose to do Jackson just first and foremost because it was one of the first ones I saw here. So I'll go ahead and do Jackson. See all the zip codes here. What I like about it. And how would I prioritize these zip codes? Well, I prioritize my zip codes based off the median sale price, lowest to highest. So if I only had $100 to spend on a list pool, and I would say, okay, with skip tracing and everything, and I was in Jackson, Missouri, I would target 64132. These are the types of sellers you're going to have. Yep, I want to sell that house. They're not going to ask for anything over probably $80,000 to $90,000 for their house. They're going to be very reasonable people, and we're going to be in an area where we know it's not there. It's not a war zone because we have at least 52 homes sold. You see what we're doing here, guys? So the lower we go, as far as the median sale price, so price over here, motivation. So if price goes down, motivation goes up. Boom. So 100,000, motivation goes up. 80,000 median sale price, motivation goes up. It's an inverse relationship. So we're going to have reasonable people that don't have that many resources. They're not going to say, well, let me see if my attorney can view your contract. Well, what's your website? What's your LLC information? What's your social security number? And what's your firstborn's information? I'm going to need a prick of blood. And let me send your contract to my realtor. You're not going to have people in this area, in this price range. On top of that, guys, we need to be looking at our markets as if there's a certain percentage of homeowners that are realtors, that are for realtors. And there's a certain percentage that are for ours. That's why I don't compete against realtors. Realtors are my friends, guys. I have my own thoughts on realtors, but you know, some of them don't know what they're talking about half the time. But I have my own thoughts with realtors. But basically what I'm saying here is that a lot of your realtors, they're not going to be targeting these homes in this area. Why? Once I do the average, you're going to see why. Realtors get paid what? 3% commission usually. Let me just do these. I want to take these zip codes, not all of the zip codes. Realtors get paid 3% commission. If I average all these zip codes out here, we're probably going to be around maybe like 210, 215 as far as the median sale, the average 188. So if they get a house for 188,000 and they're making 3% commission, is that right? Let me make sure. I don't think that's right. 1 second. Equals bump times 3%, 3%, yeah, that's right. 3. Let me do my math over here. I don't feel like that's right. 188,025 times 0.03. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I guess that'll right. So they're gonna make $5,000 on that. Okay. Actually now a lot of realtors are getting paid. They're having to compromise because there's a lot of competition in the market. So let's just say on this 188, they get negotiated down to a 2% commission. So they're making $3,700 on that, right? Okay, let's just say they're in an area where they can go after $300,000 homes. And mind you guys, realtors, they get paid commission based off of the work that they do. So getting a property listed and then closed, there might be a 3-month turnaround on that. And they might spend, who knows, 40 hours with paperwork, driving back and forth to the house, cleaning the house up, putting signs on the outside of the house, vetting buyers that aren't serious, vetting things like that. So, you know, at the end of it, most of them want to get paid around 10 grand. Okay. So for $300,000 on a 3% commission, they're going to be getting paid 9 grand. So you could see in a lot of these areas here, in these lower income areas, they're going to be getting paid what, 3 grand on this lower income zip code. This is going to be their commissions. That may sound nice for a wholesale fee, but guys, realtors aren't going to be targeting these people if there are $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 zip codes. So that's why I don't compete against realtors, because I'm only focusing on these lower end zip codes. That makes sense? Okay. There's enough opportunity for everybody out here. Okay. And thanks, AREF. Guys are still here. So I'm going to go on for probably about 20 more minutes, so guys. Okay. Boom. And I'll delete this row right here as well. So I like what I'm seeing here. And let's go ahead and go over to Census Reporter and start seeing what the demographics are. If you guys remember on Thursday or Tuesday, it's Thursday today, on Tuesday, what I indicated you need to stay away from as far as demographics in an area. If any of you guys remember, you could comment. If not, I'll tell you guys what you're looking for as far as demographics. And a hint is going to be white, black, Asian, Oriental, Hispanic, that angle. Okay. And I'll tell you guys here shortly. So what we're looking for on Census Reporter, and this has updated statistics with a slight margin of error for each county, zip code, and I don't think they do it by MSA. But I mainly go here to look at the demographics, the race and ethnicity. The main thing you're looking for, guys, is how many Hispanic homeowners are not homeowners. How many Hispanic individuals live in an area? I like it being right around 10% or fewer. Love my Hispanic brethren. You guys are some of the most hardworking people that I know personally, and some of the most American dream success stories, so to say, that I've heard. In the regards to wholesaling, why do we want to avoid this? Because the Hispanic population, my friends, are playing the same game we're playing as investors. So even if you have a list where you're targeting people that bought their house before 1999, most likely than not, they would not take out a second mortgage to renovate this property. More likely than not, they are taking out, they have friends that have helped them renovate the property over the years. So even if somebody bought a house in 1999 or prior, more likely than not, that house is going to be renovated and rehabbed. Okay. They can just have some friends, relatives come over for a weekend for the next 2 months and knock out, probably in a weekend, put in a whole bathroom there, as long as they're paying for repairs. So it's very important not to target highly Hispanic population areas. And I'm trying to be as politically correct as possible. Exactly, Mara. Yeah. Guys, trying to be as politically correct as possible. Right? I'm not trying to ruffling feathers, but this is just what I'm seeing. I'm just in data. Picture me as a robot. I'm just delivering the facts to you. Again, I said this on Tuesday, white and black population, I don't really see it statistically relevant. If you see a higher black population, really doesn't do anything for me. Same way with the white population, because most likely these two groups of people, if they're going to do renovations on their house, they would have gotten a second mortgage on their house. And I have a total outstanding loans filter in my list pulling tool that removes anybody that has refinanced their house over $100,000. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind here. Okay. Let's go to Redfin. Great. I already have Jackson County up here. Okay, so what do I like about this? Over the years, we have seen a steady increase in the median sale price. So this is going back to the data that I had. I actually started in April of 2021. So guys, you can see, let me go back a little bit further. This area in 2018, this is one of those areas that I would have probably have targeted depending on the home sold. So for all homes types, we were at about $995 for the whole area, which isn't bad. Then it dipped down to $602. I usually do this by zip code. Days on market, guys, look, it's gone. It's had spikes, but listen, over the years, it's gone down. So this tells me that this area wasn't really hot and on the radar. Guys, that's why you never have to be concerned about, oh my gosh, am I going to run out of markets? This market's going to be saturated. Don't feel like you're married or tied to a particular market, guys. That's very important, because everything's always in flux. Guys, back in 2018, I probably wouldn't have looked at this area. There's probably nothing happening. Cash buyers weren't there. days on market were 39. That's all right. Then it spiked to 51. Then now on average, it's about in the 20s. You love to see it, and it always increases a little bit in fall. But even in October, you love to see it. 24 days on market. That means that pretty much as soon as my cash buyer, if they have a property that they flip, it takes them a month to flip. As soon as they put that sucker on the market, guess what's going to happen? They're going to have a pending offer for it. This is how your cash buyers determine if they're going to choose your deal over another one. This is how cash buyers don't punk you as well, guys. I've had cash buyers that say, well, I'm going to need to get a discount with X, Y, and Z, and this, that, and a third, and it's not a desirable area. No. If I'm in an area where the median days on market is less than 24 and the median sale price is fewer than 250, there's been 852 homes sold in the last 30 days. Guys, he who has the deal has the power. Just remember that. That was one thing I learned early on by one of my mentors in my real estate career. Whoever has a deal has the power. So they can't play you at that point. Now, if you're going to somewhere that's very rural and it's potentially a war zone, that's when your cash buyers have the power. That's when you're desperate to sell it to one person. But if you're in an area that's highly desirable and you use a list pulling criteria I'm about to show you guys, you're not going to have any issues at all moving your properties to cash buyers and then them not wanting to negotiate that much with you, or last minute, oh, well, I got to negotiate your assignment fee. You're not going to hear them argue about that. My friends, if it seems like this part is tedious, because it is, but we put a lot of the hard work up front because it's smooth sailing once we start doing our marketing campaigns. Okay. I don't want to start doing my marketing campaigns and have to adjust my list, adjust the zip codes that I'm targeting, adjust the county that I'm in, make any real major adjustments. And on top of that too, it costs money with skip tracing. I know I pay my cold call team up front for marketing campaigns. Okay. So I'm paying them like what, $1,500 just for cold calling, and I'm paying another $500 to $600 for data. That's $2,000 for 30 days. I'm not trying to risk guessing on my marketing campaigns. And if it seems like it's a little bit tedious, I'm going to check all my blocks. Now you can do overkill here, right? If you guys were on the Facebook Live, on the YouTube Live earlier, when I was showing you guys about the this gentleman that was giving advice to another young lady in Bigger Pockets. And she was asking, well, how do I know if I'm in a good market or a good market for virtual wholesaling? And he listed off a few things that weren't relevant, like rents. I don't need to know what the market rents are. The rents could be $2,000, but the median sale price could be $500,000. So every single seller that I target is going to be expecting top dollar for their house. That's irrelevant. So I've tried to make this as simple as possible. And if you guys downloaded my zip code analysis sheet 2 years ago when I first did it, I had close to 40 data points that I was tracking on my zip code analysis sheet. And I'll go back to it and I'll show you. I had close to 40 data points that I was tracking, guys. Now I got it down to how many data points am I tracking? I'm tracking 13 data points. And these are statistically relevant. There's things called vanity metrics, guys, I want you to be on the lookout for. And people say certain things to make themselves sound smart and to honestly try to content block. So a vanity metric is an analytics item that can be measured, but it is not a signifier of a real return on investment. Okay, examples include the number of followers, likes, or comments. So this is more for social media. Same concept applies. You could be tracking things like what's the, like on Redfin. I could give you guys an example here. You can say, okay, home prices were up 6.7% compared to last year. That doesn't do anything for me. And I was tracking this metric. I was scraping this metric 2 years ago. Okay, it could be up 6.7%. Well, how do I make any real decisions based off of that? It could be up 6.7% from 180,000 to 210,000. It's still underneath 250,000. So you don't want to confuse yourself here, guys, and start tracking things that aren't important. And if it seems like there's a lot that I'm throwing at you guys, just know that over the years, awesome, Dom, still here. Appreciate you. Over the years, I've learned what's actually important or not. So, guys, let's close this out and put this all together. So I'm going to go in Investor Title Toolbox. This is my premier list pulling tool. I pay a little bit more for this, guys. Annual subscription is $1,000, and it gives you 120,000 records. But since I have such high volume, about once every other month, I pay them another $1,000 to get 120,000 more records. So my bill for them is anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 annually, right? But have no fear, guys. Cece's here. See what I did there? I actually have these records that I'm going to show you guys live. I'm pulling them for you, and then I'm putting them on my website so you guys can download them. Because even if you have this tool, guys, I'm here showing you how to do this with training wheels, and you can end up blowing through all your volume if you don't know how to put these filters here. There's a lot of filters here. I pulled over 3 million records in this tool since 2017, so I'm well versed with it. You can put something on here, and then it can end up messing up your whole marketing campaign. So let's go over my criteria. This is what I call my tire landlord list criteria. Now, guys, is every person on this list that I'm going to be providing with you guys going to be a landlord? No, but all of these homeowners are absentee. They bought their house for less than $100,000. They owe fewer than $100,000 in loans. And get this, guys, they bought it before 1999, and the year built is 1999 or before. Guys, this is a perfect list to target for tire landlords. Why? Because 1999, that was 24 years ago. So at a minimum, everybody on this list, if they bought their house when they were 30, they're going to be 54 years old. So most of the people that I work with, whenever I do my marketing, they're old, they're done doing managing the property, and they're also in a situation where they just want to get rid of it. And guess what? They want less than $100,000, because if somebody paid less than $100,000 for their house and the median sale price for that zip code is $250K or below, they're not going to ask for $1 million or something crazy like that. So that's a big reason why, too, guys, I only target 250,000 and below zip codes on Redfin. Very important that you guys realize that. And here in Jackson, that's like right where we're at. So when you guys download this list and target it, you're going to be getting in touch with people that aren't asking for a crazy amount, because they have realistic expectations about what their home is worth compared to their whole county. So I'll give you guys another example here. Some people may say, well, why don't I just target the zip codes? Give me 1 second. I'm going to do the whole county. Why don't I just target the zip codes that are underneath 250,000 in a particular area? The reason why, guys, is because these people, some of these zip codes are adjacent to $1 million plus zip codes. If you do that, like in Charleston County, the median sale price, this is my hometown, okay, is $579,000. Let's go ahead and round it up to $580,000. If I target somebody with a median sale price zip code, let's just say there's one for $250,000, and then I'm targeting all the people that bought their house for under $100,000. Well, they're going to be like, man, it's lottery time. It's time for me to make my money and finesse these people out here. They're going to be waiting for the highest bidder. And they're going to be in a situation where they say, well, 5 years ago, in 2018, the median sale prices were $345K. And guess what? It's just been increasing and increasing. What in the seller's mind do you think is going to go off for them to trigger, now's time for them to sell? They're going to be waiting. They're going to wait until it increases. So you're going to have a situation where you're trying to convince sellers to sell their house. Guys, you can have motivated sellers and them not be cooperative. And in these markets, that's where you have motivated sellers that may be motivated to sell, but they're motivated to sell for top dollar. I want a cooperative seller. And I go to reasonable zip codes. In Charleston, South Carolina, they just built Topgolf there. In North Charleston, it's like bachelorette capital of the country. Everybody comes down there for weddings, for bachelorette parties, I don't think for bachelor parties. They shot Southern Charm there. They just shot a Halloween movie a couple years ago. Guys, it's on the map. It's by the water. So even if somebody's living in a distressed zip code, in a distressed neighborhood, they're going to have the same amenities that somebody that lives in $1 million zip code. Yeah, they could just go 30 minutes down the road and go to Topgolf and feel like they're a millionaire. And they go to Whole Foods. They go to the Tanger shopping centers. They go to the nice Mount Pleasant shopping centers. They're able to go to Isle of Palms and eat a $300 plate dinner and get expert hospitality, okay? So it's important to realize that we stay away from markets that are ubiquitously, my friend, generally all the way around affluent. Okay. You guys see what we're doing here. Hope you guys are finding value out of this. Okay. And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and put the chat overlay here so you guys can see. Or any new comments will pop up. So last thing I will say is this. Let's go ahead and start talking about what the zip code looks like when we pull it, okay? Or what the criterion looks like and what the actual list looks like. And I'll go ahead and start clicking some of these houses so you can see. So the first loan amount under 100,000, total outstanding under 100,000. As far as total outstanding loans, purchase price underneath 100,000. Purchase date 1999 or prior. Year built 1999 or prior. Lot square footage under 1/4 of an acre. That's very important because anybody we target on this list, you're going to be able to get comparable sales. There's not going to be somebody out there on Route 66 on an acre of land that you can't get comps for. And more likely than not, guys, mobile homes slip in too. When you do this, I found that mobile homes slip in, and it's so frustrating, guys, because you'll be in a situation where you're like, oh, let me target this without having this filter on. And you may get some people, even though you have single family residences, your duplex, triplex, or quadruplexes, you actually have mobile homes that are on a slab that the county, just because it's on a concrete slab, classifies it as a single family house. And if you get that, guess what your cash buyer is going to say? This is a mobile home, even though technically by the county is a single family house. So I found that having this square footage cap on there, you avoid, any homes that are potentially, number one, in gated communities that could be sitting on a half an acre or more. But most importantly, rural properties that could be mobile homes, okay? Because some can slip through. What do I do then, guys? I keep my criteria the same. Guys, I keep it the same. Only thing I'm doing is changing the states and counties. And this allows me to get a very nice sizable list, 5,000, 1,100 property owners. And I'm just going to click around and show you guys what this looks like here. And while we're doing that, let's look at the this question. ARF, great question here. How much? Give me one second here. Okay. How much data do you need to make 100K in a monthly basis? Guys, 5,000 absentee records. This is the formula. Let me actually get to that in a second. Let me wrap up this point, and I'm going to get to that in a second. So sit tight for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to answer that because that's a little bit long-winded. So these are what the houses look like, guys. You're not going to see a whole bunch of homes here, guys, that are 2 stories, large. I misspoke. This one looks like it's 2 stories. It might be over here too, but you're not going to see a lot of newer homes on here. Okay, let's see what this one looks like. 100 Front Street. I want to move in, zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's see what this one looks like. Detail view. Okay. Most of your houses are going to look like this. Okay. They're going to be 1-story, brick veneer, or vinyl siding, most likely brick veneer with a foundation, about 3 to 2 beds, and 1 to 2 baths. Okay, that's what we're looking for, and we want to get the houses that are like right on top of another house because we know they're in neighborhoods. It's very easy if you generated this lead right here to actually get comparable sales for this. And guess what? It makes it that much easier for a virtual assistant to do comparable sales. Where you don't have to step in. So you're just like, hey, Mike, Jay, John, Lou, whoever your VA is, to generate the comparable sale and get an extremely accurate price for you, and you just have to review it. Let's see what some more of these look like. 526 Olive Street. So same thing here, guys. This looks like it might be, this one. Okay, so cool. So you see this one is all the way back there, if that's correct. So yeah, that's where the door is. And I guess the driveway would be right there. These are the types of houses we're going after, guys. Deferred maintenance. Notice none of these houses that I've showed you so far look like they've had any repairs on them because my total outstanding loans is below 150. Okay. All right. This one looks like it's been maintained over the years. And what we're doing here, guys, we're fishing. So, this whole list, you're going to take this and cold call this list and text message it. And you're going to see who comes back and says, yep, I'm tired of dealing with this house. But notice in most of these areas, I call them, they're like Airbnb bungalows. Any of these would be great to buy for short-term rentals. And lastly, we'll just look at one more here. Okay, perfect. This is what you're looking for. If it is 2 stories, you're looking for something like this. That's this is like a Charleston single row house. Okay, very skinny. It's more has longer length than width. Okay, and also we want to know the health of the market. How many cash buyers do we have there? So I'm going to show you guys what I use for my cash buyer criteria. And what you guys could do is this list is available on my website. You can grab it, and I actually downloaded the cash buyers and the seller. So you don't even have to pull these. And I'll tell you guys, whatever list pulling tool you're using, if you're not using this one, more than likely you're missing a lot of records. That's why I could be very targeted and precise with my criterion. If I put the same criterion in PropStream, I probably would be hard pressed to get 1,000 homeowners. It's just something about whenever you start adding in filters there. I don't know if the data is not in the system, or maybe once you start adding the filters, you start losing the data. But I have seen that happen over the years. Well, really recently, not even over the years. So for cash sales, we're looking for any full sale in the last 12 months, loan to value ratio less than or equal to 1. So that means you're looking for people that have 99% equity. It's flipped. So if they have 99% equity, they bought it in the last 12 months, and it's non-owner occupied, single, duplex, triplex, or quad, guys, these are cash buyers. Okay. So I'm going to download, view the records, and we're going to see some of the names here. And I included single family individuals, and I included LLCs. Guys, to this day, I still mail my cash buyers list. So I'll mail them. And you can actually download this list and start sorting out the ones you see multiple individuals, the ones you see the same buyer for multiple properties. That's what I meant to say. So this right here, this Agnes Block LLC, this is a very good cash buyer because he bought 4 properties in the last 12 months. So I'm going to see if there's any more. And I always suggest calling your buyers while you're doing your marketing, because you just don't want to like skip trace these people and then say, oh, I got a deal. It's like, you want to establish a relationship beforehand. This RNGD Drake LLC, that's another one. They bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sky the limit. Sky's the limit properties. Sky's the limit. So you can see here, guys, if they have properties or Cherokee Legend props, guys, that's somebody you should put in the forefront in the mail or text. But anytime you see repeating homeowners on here, LLCs specifically are names of individuals, those are going to be your I would say 3 or more in a row. Those are going to be your serious cash buyers. I'm trying to see if there's any more on here. Boulevard Homes LLC, they have 2. Montgall LLC. Okay, great. So I actually deduplicated that, and I think there were around 2,800 individuals there. Okay, so if you guys want that, I'll go ahead and drop the link for that. And that's 3,900 sellers and 2,200 buyers, so a total of 5,000 record lists. If you guys want that, so you guys could get the link in the description on YouTube, and also the link right there. So let's go ahead and answer the question here, and we'll go ahead and round out the call. So, all right, thanks guys for staying with me. I know, I mean, guys, some of you guys have been here the whole time. Really do appreciate it. Okay, let me just make sure I'm good to go here. Okay, sweet. So we have stop sharing here. So the question we have here is this: how much data do you need to make 100K in a monthly basis? All right, so this is a multi-tiered question, and I'm going to pull up my notes here and share these with you. Okay. So 5,000 unique records will generate 30 leads over the course of 30 days. This is what I'm seeing, guys. Now, the catch is this. They have to be in what I call my in W. I called it WRM markets. So that's wholesaling rotation markets. That's something I came up with. So, you're always going to be rotating your markets. So they have to be in WRM markets, wholesaling rotation markets. And those are the ones I classify as 250K or below, median sale price, 50 homes sold or more. And these are averages for the whole MSA, not just onesies and twosies. I pull my list, guys, by county, or by I do them by county, but I try to stay in the market for over like 3 months. But I am experimenting now where I'll pull a zip code in one area and I'll go to another one. So it just depends on what I want to do. I'm always experimenting, but most likely than not, especially for my client campaigns, I'm staying in one market for 3 months. So 250K or below, median sale price, 50 homes sold or more, on average, or more. And I would say 50 days on market or less. So these are the whole averages. So if you're trying to go to an area where the median sale price is like 600,000, guys, or 700,000, even if you pull 5,000 unique records, you're going to have to probably generate 50 leads to get maybe not even one contract. So I would really focus on the market first. The Midwest, crushing it right now. Midwest, the American dream for wholesalers is alive and well. Guys, well, I've gone to Texas, out. Atlanta, out. I don't do Atlanta. Hey, guys, I'm in Charlotte. Charlotte, out. Where else? Charleston, South Carolina, out. I'm just giving you guys a few. There are very few southern markets that make sense to go to if you have if you're going virtual. Like it doesn't make sense to go to certain places in the South. Yeah, you can do it, but guys, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. I mean, Tampa, even this year, out. I did a campaign in Tampa. I was like, median sale prices went up to like 400,000. No, I'm not targeting. Tampa in 2018 was great to target, but this year we saw a spike, and sure enough, when I called everybody, it was getting more and more difficult to get cooperative sellers. Guys, I want people whenever I call them, my cold calling team calls them on my behalf. Whenever my cold calling team calls them, guys, I want them to want to sell their house for under $100,000. I want them to say, yep, I'll take 80,000. I'll take 50. I'll take 40. Guys, it's so much easier working with those people. There's just something psychologically when people buy their house for over 100,000, they just lose their mind. I don't know. I just think that's a great price range to be at. I think that's a great price range to be at, like under 100,000 when they bought it. And I may increase it, guys, in a few years. I know in a couple years, I'll probably take my 1999 filter up to 2002 probably, because at that point, 2002 and 2002, that would be 23 years. Okay. 23 years as far as home ownership. But now I like 1999 or prior. It's a great place to be as far as price range, and every single person is very, very hot. I want to say very hot. They're more hot than cold. I have more leads that I follow up with on a tighter basis, meaning I'll follow up with them in a month rather than I have a lot of people that say, well, follow up with me in 6 months, 7 months. And I don't target owner occupants anymore. That was something I was doing earlier this year. And really for the last 2 years, I don't target owner occupants. Guys, I don't want any filler. And what I found myself doing is I was making exceptions to my list criteria just to have more people that I could target. But with that being said, guys, I also moved from the Philippines to Nicaragua as far as my cold callers. So they're able to maximize all my leads, because if I only have 5,000 records, guys, I don't want a Filipino that doesn't know how to use the dialer just blowing through them and saying they need another 5,000 records. No, I know with a full-time cold caller, 5,000 records can keep them extremely extremely busy, generating leads for me, and I can get one to two leads a day. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. So let me answer the other part of this question. So how many leads do you need to make 100,000 per month? So let's go over the metrics here. Benchmarks, KPIs. When I say benchmarks, this is what you're aiming for. And the KPIs, key performance indicators, are your actual metrics. Okay. So these are actual metrics that you're targeting. So benchmarks is 30 leads to 2 contracts using the criteria that I showed you guys. And let's just say each contract will be $15,000 a piece. I'm fetching $20,000 assignment fees for all my properties right now, but let's just say 15 a piece equals $30,000. Okay, guys, that may not seem like a lot, but my friend, in order to make $100,000 monthly, you need a team, dude. You need a team, bro. Like, it's not that easy. If I want, I can replicate this, and this will be in one market. So if I want to make 30,000, if I want to make 100,000, I would just need 90 leads in 3 markets. I'm sorry, I'll need 90 leads with 30 leads coming in each market every month. Okay. For 3 markets. I hope that makes sense. So I will need 90 leads with 30 leads coming in each market every month through 3 markets. Let me figure out a better way to say that. I'll need 90 leads each month coming into my CRM with 3 leads with 3 markets. So 30 each market. Because, guys, what's going to happen, only one cold caller can tackle 5,000 records. So this is very important. If you give your cold caller 10,000 records and you're pulling 10K fresh records a month, then you're wasting about 5K records data, right? Very, very important, okay? So if you're pulling 10,000 fresh records a month, then you're wasting about 5,000 records of data. So you can overpull. You can overpull data. And what I'm here showing you guys is like the balance. There's a seesaw here, okay? There's a seesaw effect here where it's like those scales of justice. You can pull too few records, which that's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of investors, I would say most that aren't succeeding, they're pulling like 1,000 record lists, or they may start off, I've seen this a lot, with like a 20,000 record list. Then it gets to like month 6 of dialing that same list, and they're like, yeah, I've been putting in like 500 records here, 200 there. Guys, look at your marketing like gas in your car. I could get from here, from Charlotte to Texas, probably on like 3 tanks of gas. I probably had to fill up 3 or 4 times. If I'm trying to get from Texas to California, I can't just say, well, I already put in 3 tanks of gas. I'm not putting in any more. Okay. My car may say, well, I can run off of fumes for maybe like 10 miles, but then it's going to break down. So guys, you constantly need to be putting in new data, new, unique, non-duplicated data. And that's what it's on my sheet, quickstarleads.com. I already have that up there for you guys. Okay. So that the Jackson County, Missouri criteria, I already pulled all 5,000 records and put them there. I deduplicated, it was like 3,900 records. And then there were another 2,000 cash buyers. So that list you can work for close to 45 to 50 days. I've seen it, and get 2 properties under contract. Now I'm only going to be having that list up there for probably for a month or 2, up until about 10 people purchase it. I'm going to remove it, and then I'll replace it with another one. So I'll have like 10 zip code lists or 10 county lists on there every month. And so as 5 or 10 people buy them, I'll remove them, because the whole reason why a lot of markets seem saturated now is because everybody's targeting the same list. Okay. It's important to realize. So let's talk about, let's round this out here. So if you want to make $100,000 a month, you'll need to be in 3 markets. I suggest with the same criteria that I showed you guys, because the avatar is the same. See, what happens is investors, they may go and they may target a code violations list in one market. Then in another market, they're going to target a pre-foreclosure list. And then they're going to target a stacked code violations tax delinquent, motivated seller list that just broke their leg. last year or last month. I hope you guys get what I'm getting at here. They're going to target a very, very super tight list, or maybe PPC leads. And so it's going to skew their vision of number one, how healthy a market is in. I'll get to this question in 1 second, Donald. Let me just finish this question right here. So it'll skew the perception of a market if somebody is targeting different types of lists. So what I do, I target the same type of list. I just rotate markets. Okay. Because I know I can, as long as I'm targeting the whole county, I can get about 4,000 to 5,000 absentee records in a hot county. And I don't have to wait on the county to hit me up and say, oh man, it's going to take a week to get that back. And then they give me back data. And then a lot of the data is just garbage, and only about 20% of the records I would actually target. And I might as well be better off just going in my list pulling tool and targeting those. You see? So this will get you $100,000. But guys, infrastructure through people is important. People and processes. I would say by way of, infrastructure by way of people and processes is crucial, or else deals will fall out of the pipeline. You'll forget to send sellers. You'll be juggling hundreds of things, of tasks rather, more specifically. What's really important, guys, if you're going to get to this point, is scaling. See if you can close 2 deals consistently a month before you think about getting to 5 deals consistently a month. Because you may find yourself in a position where you're like, you know what? I'm good with 2 to 3 deals a month. Guys, 2 to 3 deals a month at $20,000. If I'm doing, let's just say I'm making $40,000 with 3 deals a month times 12, guys, consistently, that's almost a $500,000 business. You see, the thing is, doing that consistently is the key. I'd much rather do that 2 to 3 deals consistently a month, and I know that I have 2 to 3 deals closing next month, than have one big deal. This $40,000 deal is going to be everything to me. And then once you close that deal, you have no leads in the pipeline, you have no team, you have nothing set up. You don't. So that's like very important to realize, my friends. You need to start. Most of everybody that watches me, most of the people that watch me, I have a few big fish out there, are solopreneurs. Meaning you're working for yourself and you're going to be moving these deals through yourself. Even if you have one VA, I would say once you really have a business, you have about 2 to 3 VAs that you've had for more than 6 months at a time. That's how you know if you're running a business. It's much different you running a business yourself than teaching somebody how to run the business in your absence. Okay. So let me know if that answered your question, Aref. I know that was a sort of roundabout way to answer it, but I do have a video on my YouTube channel, guys, where I actually break down the KPIs. If you just go back in them, I need to actually go there and it's time to do an audit on my YouTube videos. But yeah, I have it there. I think it's called KPIs, cold calling KPIs, perhaps. And it may have been like 2 years ago. It's probably time to do an update to that one. All right, great question from Donald. So what were the criteria and will it work for PropStream? So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the criteria here again. Let me share my screen with you guys. Okay, so the criteria we were talking about is this criteria right here, and I'll just put this on the screen here for you guys to see. Fill load. Okay, cool. It's this right here. So, and you can put these filters in PropStream. I think there might be like 1 or 2 criteria that's maybe different or maybe not included. I don't know if the first loan amount's included on there. Owner occupied, that's in there as absentee, and you could do the year built for sure. Single family, duplex, triplex, or quadruplex, you can. And then total outstanding loans, you could do that as well. Okay. But the thing is, guys, yeah, you could put all this criteria in PropStream. I'm pretty sure it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the same vernacular in there. Okay, same terminology. But the thing is, if you do this in there, I can almost guarantee you're only going to get maybe like 1,000 records. And that's why investors have to do pace more, be creative financing, and they have to do lease options and all this stuff because the data sources they're using aren't that good, and they can't put this criterion because for some reason it's not populating, guys. For some reason it's not populating. I'm trying to show you guys like the way that I would do it and make this accessible to you guys, but it really gets to a point where you got to upgrade the tools that you're using. PropStream is all right, guys, but it's not for the heavy hitters, right? I would be hard pressed if anybody that's doing over $500,000 a year wholesaling is using PropStream for their primary list source, and that's a fact. I'm giving you guys the sauce, the behind the scenes. This is stuff I wish I knew. But yeah, hey, I'd actually be interested. I'm going to have another live stream on Tuesday. If you get on there, you let me know, hey, I did this criteria in PropStream because I don't have an account right now. If you put it in there and you're like, hey, it worked, and it gave me 5,000 records or more, I'd actually like to know. But the last time I did a experiment, it was the time I updated the spreadsheet in July. PropStream was missing a lot of data, and I have about 3 times as much data, which is why I could get very targeted with my filters here. So as a beginner, where do we start? So I'm guessing you're asking just where do you start as far as and I'm going to open up my notes here. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys like this. I'm guessing you're asking where do you start as far as wholesaling. Now that's a beast in itself. Now I'm about to get off the stream here. We're going on 2 hours, but I would say this. Focus on marketing. A good place to start is that zip code analysis sheet I have. I'm being honest. And then start messing around and going with the filters and following through the exercise that I give you to learn how to analyze markets for one. The next thing I will learn how to do is actually generate offers for your properties. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel called Generating Offers. It's a 3-video playlist. It goes through how to exactly generate offers for your properties. Because, guys, you need to know what a cash offer would be for your sellers before you even provide them with before you provide them with an offer. And how would you know whether or not a lead is hot or not? If I say, well, the seller wants $150,000, that could be a smoking deal in Los Angeles, California. It could be a really bad deal in Memphis, Tennessee. So that's something to learn as well. And I have other resources as well. And if you hit me up at info@ccgarlandmarketing.com, I'll actually I'll send you a personal email back just with some free videos and resources on where I can point you to my page and then some other websites too to learn as well. Hey, Bigger Pockets is great. You have to be careful. You have to be careful with the information you get on there, okay? But yeah, if you want to hit me up, info@ccgarlandmarketing.com, I can I'll give you an email. I'll just share with you just some places to start. I love interacting with the community, guys. Really appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day and spending it with me. Yeah, two deals per month isn't that bad. It's decent, guys. If you could do that consistently, that's really good. If you could do that consistently, the thing is, most people, they close like 2 deals at one time, and then it's like an accordion effect. They'll close 2 deals, and then they'll just chase these 2 deals down for 3 months, and then they're left with no leads. And then they're generating a lot of leads, and they're working all these deals, and it's just like this back and forth thing, back and forth. It's like we want it to be like this, maybe with a few fluctuations. So getting your company stabilized is extremely important, guys. Get to 2 deals a month first, and then let's focus on getting to 10 deals a month. Guys, I don't think you guys really realize how much capital is needed in order to get to 10 deals per month. And I'm going to show you guys here just something before I hop off. I'll get to Mara's comment here. Thanks, Mara, for your comment. So true, CC. There's such a lack of traction and momentum when no deals are in the pipeline, no matter how big the last deal one was. Yep. The small deals bring the biggest lessons. Of course. I can agree with you guys, with Mara, enough on that one. I'm telling you, when I first started, I was chasing down individual leads. I was skip tracing sellers. I was trying to be like a private detective, trying to find sellers and doing all this driving for dollars and stuff. And that's fine, but that's not the foundation of your company. The foundation of your company is consistent marketing. And guys, you could be doing cold calling, direct mail, RVM, smoke signals. I know a guy that had basically a group of Ubers, like 100 people in Ubers doing driving for dollars for him. Whatever you do, make sure you have one marketing channel that you can hang your hat on that brings in the majority of your leads consistently. As soon as that lead flow stops, you need to be looking at what's going on there, okay? It's very important. Okay, so Steve, hey, absolutely, you're welcome. You're welcome. Very glad to assist. There was something else I was going to show you guys here. I went blank. I was going to show you guys something. I can't remember what I was about to show you guys. I felt like it was on Facebook. Well, while we're here, while I'm thinking of that, guys, you can join the Facebook group as well. I'll give you guys a little preview of what that looks like. We have about 4,000 members here. And I post on here. I'll go on spurts. I'll post for like a month, and then sometimes I'll take like a month break. But there's lots of good information here. Really, the value in this group too, guys, is going back. I started this group in 2019. I've dropped so many gems over the course of the years. Really, if you go around 2019 or 2020, I've dropped so many different nuggets and stuff. And so I'll go live here. And yeah, if you guys want to join the group, I'll get you guys at it there. Okay, guys. Can't remember that last point I was going to make, but I'm glad for you guys sticking in there with me. I will be back on next Tuesday. So I'm going to try to do these every Tuesdays and Thursdays for you. And if you guys have any questions from now until then, you could definitely hit me up on info@ccgarlandmarketing.com. Email me there personally. If you want that list that I pulled, so you won't have to use PropStream or Investor Toolbox, you can go straight to my website, quicksellerleads.com. And I have a list that I posted on Tuesday as well. So this is the site I'm going to be posting everything on. Quick Seller Leads. It's just so much more cleaner and slick on mobile, and most people are using mobile. So if you want that list, you get that there. And once I get, like I said, about 10 people that download it, I'm going to just take it off. So as soon as I get 10 downloads on these, I yank them, and then I replace them with another county. All right, guys. Hope that helped. I will talk to you guys later. Bye, my